I thought this was just going to be a simple refresh. Well, until I found a crack in the casing that could have ended in total disaster. Welcome back to RFM. Today is all about the GN125, but it's becoming a bit of a nightmare now. People assume GM parts are 2 to a dozen, but once the production moved from Japan to China in 2001, everything changed. My 2006 model is a Chinese version and specs differ from Japanese to Chinese stuff. Finding genuine Chinese spec parts that fit are incredibly hard to get hold of. Because of that, I'm getting a bit creative with the exhaust. The original exhaust is damaged, so we are keeping the downpipe and adapting it. The downpipe itself is okay condition, but it's not perfect. It is serviceable. It's fine for what we need, to be honest. So I'm going to spend a bit of time on this. I'm going to remove some of the rust off of it. I'm not looking for a mirror finish or shiny steel. I am just trying to get it back to a cleaner steel so the paint has something good to adhere to. I'm also using a chemical on there as well. It is like an acid. Once it dries, it leaves a zinc deposit over the thing. After this is dried, I'm going to be using a high temperature exhaust paint. Probably isn't needed, but it's just another layer of protection. Now for the rust treatment, just go everything with a wire wheel. This is more than sufficient. I'm hitting the stubborn spots with some rust remover before the high temperature black goes on. This rust treatment's pretty good, to be honest. Once it dries, it leaves a nice zinc layer over it, as you can see in the picture here. I'm using Rust-Oleum very high temperature exhaust paint on this. Everything I use today will be in the description. Once that's cured, it's time for the wrap. I'm using a wet wrap method, soaking the material in water first. This makes it more pliable so it can pull tighter around the curves of all of the downpipe. It also keeps those fiberglass shards from flying everywhere. As the exhaust heats up, it will shrink the wrap and bank it on. This isn't just for the custom look. It actually does a great job protecting the cleaner steel we just prepped. Since the exhaust was damaged beyond repair, I've gone for this universal cone exhaust. It's not a shorty, it's just a classic reverse cone that fits the lines of the GN perfectly. It looks almost identical to what was on there. It requires a little bit of tweaking to line up with the 2006 GN brackets, but the result is worth it. It's got that deeper, punchier growl now. It sounds more like a proper motorcycle than a lawnmower now. With the exhaust out of the way, I'm stripping the bike right down. Off comes its seat, the fuel tank and the mudguards. I want to have a good look at that frame. It isn't just going to be a quick wash. I am de-rusting and painting the frame where there is rust. I've been a little bit more extra careful with this as it is going to be funding the CB750 bobber project. I want the next owner to have a solid machine, and every hour spent on the cleaning and preparing this bike adds a value to the next project. Let's give this a little spin around so you can see what's going on the other side. As I said, I want to get all the bright work stuff off so I can give everything a nice going over and make sure it's all solid. I'm now removing the chain guard. On the back side of the chain guard, it is very, very rusty. I don't need that chain no more. That comes off and that's safely stored away. Now time for the headlight. Carefully removing all the wires on there so you don't break any wires while doing it. The mudguard comes off with ease. 4 bolts on the inside, and like I said, still dirty. Everything gets a nice, good going over with. Let's have a quick pan over the bike to see what we've got there. You can see there's some rust there showing through. Well, I was just showing you all the rust and all that, and I've quickly discovered the next issue, and I was not happy at all. And then I found the deal breaker. Just look at that. The rear brake housing is cracked right through its casing. This is a crucial safety issue. If this snaps while you're riding, the brake assembly will rotate, lock up the wheel and possibly throw you off. There is no service in this. It will not be welded. It cannot weld this safely. It is a non-negotiable replacement. But because this is a 2006 Chinese version, finding a replacement housing that matches the axle and the drum spec is going to be a massive challenge. Let's talk about what we bought so far for the bike. We've bought service items $35.99, a battery $23.99, chain and sprockets $23.99, N-can and exhaust wrap $37.99. The paint was £19 and 19 pence. And the rear hub assembly is going to be about £40. The total spent for this project so far is £170 approximately. It looks like we're getting closer and closer to that £200 mark. So let's look at some of this crane work here. You can see it's quite bad, to be fair. Loads of rust over it, and it almost looks like an impossibility that there'll be any kind of shine coming off of this. I'm going to do my best though. So it's off to the kitchen now. Don't tell my wife I'm using a sink, but to be fair, I am using a kitchen cleaner. So I'm kind of in the right place, I suppose. While I hunt for the exclusive brake plate, I'm focusing on the chrome work. The mudguards are caked in years of old road salt and grime and who knows what. I'm going to give them a proper scrub in the sink just to get rid of all the grit and grime before trying to get them to a nice luster again. With all these pits in the chrome work, it's going to be hard to get it to work for me, but I'm going to do my best. I don't want to buy any more parts for it. I'm already on a tight budget. All the underside of all of the bright work will be sprayed with the same chemical acid treatment as before with the exhaust. After that, I will be painting it with some kind of paint. Okay, so if you like this content, I do have a part 1 of this. I will leave a link in the top of this, so you just click it, and if you want to see it, watch it from the start. I highly suggest this. How would you go around restoring this chrome work? Are you going to do something similar or have done? Let me know in the comment box. And if you haven't done already, please subscribe. This transformation is definitely happening before our eyes, but the brake housing has put a real spanner in the works. Or should we put the brakes on the project? Next episode, I'll be hopefully completing this mini-series rebuild, providing I don't run into any other problems, I hope. What I am doing is going over everything with just a generic metal polish at the moment. Definitely been a challenge so far, but we are getting there. If you got any leads on the 2006 parts, drop us a comment below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon in the final part.